Hey everyone, it's Espionic back with another video about Nintendo at E3 2014. About a week ago, GameXplain, who does all sorts of cool things with video games including reviews, discussions, video guides for finding secrets or collectibles, gameplay analyses of trailers to find possible hidden details and more, revealed on their Facebook page that Nintendo will have 2 developer discussions at E3 this year. To me, this sounds like the developer directs that they had last year at E3, except that these will probably be more in-depth. One of the discussions is about Super Smash Bros. For Wii U and Nintendo 3DS with the game's director Masahiro Sakurai, which sounds awesome, but the second will be about an unannounced 3DS game. That sounds very intriguing indeed. It's very interesting to see that Nintendo's putting this 3DS game in the same light as a juggernaut title like Super Smash Bros. Not to mention, it doesn't look like whatever new Wii U games that are going to be shown at E3 is getting this sort of treatment either. As for what it could be, I really couldn't guess if I tried. I'm not one to make predictions for these sort of things, especially when it comes to Nintendo, so I don't want to get anyone's hopes up when talking about this. To me, the implication is that this is going to be a pretty big game for the 3DS, and I'm thinking this is most likely a game from a different IP than we're used to seeing, and probably not a new IP. I don't think it's a new IP, but I mean, we've already had a number of key titles released and announced for the 3DS with a lot of Nintendo's IPs, like Mario, Pokemon, Zelda, Donkey Kong, Yoshi, Kirby, Fire Emblem, and Animal Crossing. Not to mention, we did have Kid Icarus Uprising, bringing back an old franchise in a brand new way. So it's entirely possible that a franchise that hasn't had a game in a while will get a new entry in the form of this unannounced 3DS game. So which franchise would they choose? I'll leave that for you guys to decide, since I don't want to get anyone's hopes up by saying any IP in particular, and I could entirely be wrong. It could very well be a title from any of the IPs I mentioned earlier. In fact, I'm going to bring up a random guess from my brother, which is a remake of The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. Now, this would be just a remake if this was true, but I think my brother's offhanded guess makes a lot of sense. It is a fan favorite and a remake that fans have been clamoring for. I do recall Nintendo saying that they wanted to make a brand new Zelda game for the 3DS before remaking Majora's Mask, and that game seems to be The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds. And the thing is, it most likely wouldn't take too much time or resources to make either. Majora's Mask is a very unique game with a very unique design because it needed to be made quickly. It reuses many character models from Ocarina of Time, which has already been remade for the 3DS, so the character models could easily be used from that game. Plus, to give an idea of how quickly it could be remade, The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker HD was made in about 6 months. Yeah, just 6 months. Ocarina of Time 3D was done by a second-party developer called Grezzo and Nintendo's EAD Tokyo Group 1 team, who normally doesn't work on Zelda. So assuming that the same people were behind this, it really wouldn't be any sort of hampering of the development of Zelda Wii U. As I mentioned before, Majora's Mask has a very unique design because Nintendo needed to develop the game quickly. And talking about the development history of this game could make for a very interesting discussion. Tie all that together with it seeming like Zelda Wii U won't come out this year and Hyrule Warriors may not be everyone's cup of tea for a Zelda fix until then, and maybe, just maybe, a Majora's Mask remake could be the perfect game to make Zelda fans happy this year. But that's just me justifying my brother's haphazard idea. I do think Majora's Mask would make sense, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was this unannounced 3DS game, but I really don't know what this game could actually be. And as per usual, I'll take a wait-and-see approach. So I'll leave it to you guys. What game do you think it is? I'll end this video on that note, and I'll see you all later. This is Espionic, signing out.